Hey, it's me, Hannah. It is finally Ren Faire season here on the East Coast. Oh, are you excited too? Anything else to say? Fair enough. I've been going to the Renaissance Fair for years now, and since they only happen, every once in a while, I've really been working to try and optimize my Ren Faire going experience. And if you've been to a Renaissance festival, you know that the #1 tip, make sure you stay hydrated, which can be kind of hard to do if I'm keeping my mug full of mead. So today I want to set myself up for success by creating my very own leather water bottle sling, which I'm hoping will be both Ren Faire and LARP approved. Now there are seemingly an infinite number of ways that I could do this, from a all leather canteen to a bunch of straps and buckles that I just kind of wrap around a bottle. So first things first, I am going to find myself a fun-shaped bottle, glass bottle, and ideally this bottle will have a pre-existing cork cap. Let's check the stash. This should do. Obviously, I still have a little bit left, so the actual first step will be to empty the bottle. Also, I realize I'm not beating the old man allegations. And let me be clear, no sharp objects or heavy machinery will be used throughout the rest of the evening. The first thing I want to do is take this bottle, even before I've washed it or removed the label, and trace out a pattern that I can then use to cut out the pieces I need in order to wrap this bottle in leather. So we'll start there. Okay, so I have all of my pattern pieces ready to go. I am going to end up needing 4 of each of these pieces. And I have this scrap leather that I picked up from my local reuse store. And then I also have this blank canvas of tanned leather. I think I'm gonna try and give this a go first, though I'm kind of nervous about whether or not it's going to be thick enough, because it's kind of a flimsy weight. It's not super structured. I actually don't really know what the weight of either of these is. Oh, will this tell me? Okay, so this is like a 4 to 5 ounce, so that would make me believe that this would be like a 2 to 3 ounce, maybe? Either way, this one is sturdier, and that I'm just not sure whether or not that is a benefit in this scenario. So I'm gonna start with the lighter weight simply because it's easier to cut, so I'll be able to kind of rip through those pieces and figure out whether or not this is in fact what I need to use. And if it doesn't work out, we'll switch gears. I think this lighter weight material is going to work. So I'm going to push forward with cutting out 3 more of each of these. And then assuming we can sew okay through this material without it ripping, which I think it's going to be fine, then yeah, we should be good. Okay, so these were the only 2 needles I was able to find. Obviously a little unnecessarily curved over here, but it doesn't matter. They're both going to work just fine for what I need them to do, which is going to be, I believe it is called a corset stitch. That's probably going to be my best bet while still being like nice and decorative for connecting the two sides of the leather together. If I needed to like have them connect like this, then something like a saddle stitch might make more sense. And there might potentially be other options out there too, but I'm not familiar with them yet. For now, we'll do a corset stitch and let's see if I can remember how to do this. Okay, so I've put together all of the pieces vertically, but I still have the 4 pieces that are going to go around the bottle. I think they're going to fit, but it's going to be kind of tight. So I'm kind of relying on a little bit of stretch. But before I even worry about putting these together, well, I guess after I start worrying about, because I'm worried about it, I am going to, I almost forgot to cut out a piece that's going to go around the bottom of the bottle, which I do still need to clean out. So I think I'm just going to trace the bottom of the bottle and use that as my measurement for that bottom circle. Maybe add just like a little bit of a seam allowance so that I have enough to connect it to this bottom edge of the rest of the bottle pieces. So let's do that. Okay, I am about halfway done and I am really liking the way that this is looking. So I'm stoked. I'm gonna keep chugging along with this and then figure out how to attach a sling of some sort so it can kind of like go around across my chest, over my shoulder. The other option I want to explore is using some of the stamps that I have to add a little bit of flair and like character to it. However, because I've chosen to use this like pre-treated thinner leather, I'm not getting great results out of the stamps. Like, you can see the outlines just fine, but as far as some of the other details from within the stamp, yeah, it's not quite there. So I may still come back and add some stuff, but it will probably be dependent on how much time I have once I get to the end of making the actual sling. So I'm gonna call it for the night. It's almost 11 o'clock, so I'm gonna get some sleep and then we'll get back at it tomorrow. Okay, so it is 9:30 p.m. the night before I leave to go to the Renaissance Fair. And I finally washed out my glass. I realized that I didn't have to worry about taking off the labels because I'm literally covering everything up. So I chose not to deal with that. It's 9:30 p.m. the night before I leave, and I am just now getting to the point where I can determine whether or not this is in fact gonna fit. Okay, it's gonna be a tight fit, but that's what I want. I want that for this bottle. This is about what we're working with here. You can see that there's a little bit of a gap, but I think if I really tighten it and tug on each stitch, I'm definitely gonna be able to get these to meet. And then it's gonna work perfectly. Everything else looks so good. I'm so excited. Okay, so I just need to do this line of stitching and then attach the bottom, which maybe I will attach this before I do this vertical line of stitching. But before I do any of that, I think I will go ahead and attempt to really hammer in some, probably mostly this leaf stamp. I think I have one more leaf stamp. Yeah, this leaf stamp as well. So maybe I'll do a little combination of these two stamps into some of the corners here at each of the stitching. Ideally, I would have done this before stitching any of it together, but I just wasn't sure if I was gonna have time. Things have been a little crazy around here, so I'm actually feeling really excited about being so close to a finish line here. So let me get my hammer out and we'll do a little bit of work on some detailing. I did just remember that I need to put together a strap as well, and that might end up being a little more time consuming than I'm actually planning for. We'll see where we get. I'm excited about the detail, so I'm gonna get to work on that first. We'll worry about that after. Okay, I'm in my basement, that's why the lighting sucks, apologies, but I'm thinking that like the addition of these stamps are pretty minimal. I think if I had more time, I could maybe come up with like more of a design for these, and maybe that's something I'll revisit in the end, like once I've had some time to break in the water bottle, but it's not giving me enough as is for me to kind of continue putting time and effort in when I have like maybe 2.5 hours left to work on this. For now, I think I'm just gonna leave it. There's enough of like a teeny little detail in case you wanted to look closely. It's enough to make me happy. So I'm going to move forward, get to actually wrapping the bottle in the leather, add the bottom, add a sling, which I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to handle that, but that sounds like future Hannah's problem. We'll figure it out. Okay, so I miscounted the stitches down here. I really don't know how that happened, but I had to redo it and ended up redoing it even worse. And I just don't want to spend more time on this. And you know what? That's at the bottom. So I'm just gonna not worry about it, and we can zip up the side, and then we'll be done with our bottle cover. And then I just have to figure out how the heck I'm going to attach this to anything. Oh, okay, that's fair. I know, it's getting past our bedtime. Okay, this is actually super clutch having a curved needle for this too. I might actually switch to another curved needle for the rest of this stitch. Okay, yeah, let me do that. And when I say I'm bringing the swamp to the Ren Faire, I mean I'm bringing the swamp to the Ren Faire.
What are you doing in my swamp?
It was a hot one. I've been very well equipped today. I think the only issue I ran into with having my own vessel is on my way out, they wanted to confirm that I wasn't smuggling alcohol out. So with a splash, I was able to pour one out for the front gate people, just again to confirm I wasn't smuggling anything. So other than that, it was perfect. Having water so accessible and like so much of it was actually really crucial today because of the temperature and the humidity. So I'm a sweaty mess, but luckily I'm staying hydrated. I got a lot of compliments on, and a lot of people were asking like where I had purchased my water bottle sling, and it's just so much fun. And I'm sure if you're watching this channel, then you know that it is so much fun to be like, I made it. So
That was really fun for me today. And while I think that there's a lot of room for improvement on my execution here, I think this turned out really sick and I'm really excited about it. And I think at future fairs, I'll definitely make sure to have this on hand because it was so useful today. So another one for the books, and I just had so much fun at the Ren Fair, and if you had as much fun as I did, it would mean the world to me if you would like and subscribe. And if you do, I will see you in 2 weeks for your next video. Take care. I got water for today, so this is my water bottle.
I like it. That is very cute. Where did you get that?
I made it!
Hannah!
Yeah, isn't it cute?
That's so